Bien, bonjour boys and girls, my name is DT, I'm a paper designer and welcome to my workshop. Well, today's video is going to be pretty fun because we're going to tackle a character from one of my favorite video game franchise ever, and I think you already know who it's going to be. Yes, I am talking about Super Mario, and fun fact, one of the very first projects I ever did as a professional paper designer was in fact related to Mario and video games in general. I was commissioned by a video game store to build papercraft sculptures of video game characters so they could be used as decorative pieces in the shop. So I built a bunch of characters, and of course I had to build Mario. And you know, I thought it would be pretty fun to get back to my roots, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to build either the cap or the full-on Super Mario mask. So let's go! Here is the model of Mario's head that I did back in 2015. I think it looks pretty good. So instead of starting the build from scratch, I think I'm just going to take this model and try to modify it. So you know what guys, let's give it a start. So let's give him some colors. Let's move them up like this, scale them down. I think making all the objects from the Super Mario universe could be pretty fun too, like building the coins, building the bricks. I think one of the next kits is going to be the turtle shell. Already modeled the turtle shell with a squirrel, so I'm going to modify this a little bit so we can turn this into the turtle shells from Super Mario. Okay, looks pretty good. Let's take these two pieces here and put them pink like this. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the build so far, so I think I'm going to stop here and I will see you in a minute so we can start building this guy. Okay, so let's start with the hat. Okay, so that M piece is done, and let's glue this into the hat. Okay guys, the cap is complete, so now I will be ready to move on to the rest of the build. I feel like it's a really huge cap. Here's a quick comparison between the full-size cap and the 85% cap. So let's actually wear this so you can see how it looks like. So this is the cap at 100%, which I guess you guys could wear this at 100%. Just looks a little bit big. And this is the 85% cap, the smaller cap. I feel like this one looks more realistic, and the proportions on this one are a little bit better. So yeah, if you guys want to only print the cap, I would suggest you to print this at 85%, so it would fit your head a little better. Let's put the small cap over this guy here. So as I told you guys, I couldn't find any skin-toned paper. So I'm actually going to use some white paper for the skin, and then once I will be done with the build, I will be able to paint it at the right color. Okay, so I think I'm gonna move on to the eyes now. So I'm just going to glue this onto his face and put in his ear. Okay, so the second ear is done. So now I can move on to the hair. And Mario is complete. So I'm going to quickly move onto the painting stage to give this guy some colors. I have my acrylic paint right here, some beige skin tone acrylic paint. I have some brushes over here. Why don't you do it with a 3D printer? Well, for several reasons. The first one would be that 3D printing takes a lot of time. So does papercrafting, but there's a really big difference when you actually build something with your hands and when a machine does it for you. When you build your papercraft yourself, you have this really huge feeling of accomplishments. And it's really rewarding, you know, to spend hours and hours to cut your small pieces of paper, gluing all of these really precisely and stuff like this. I feel like using a 3D printer would be like cheating. And the result is not the same, you know. I feel like the connection we have with the material, with paper, is really essential. And you know, I'm just a crafter. I like to build stuff. And plus, 3D printing something that's going to be as big as this is going to cost you a lot of money and take you a lot of time, so you might just as well build it using paper. Does the paint make the paper more flimsy? Yes, it does. So I try to use as minimum water as I can, but if I don't use water, it's going to be really hard to spread the paint, and that's one of the reasons why I'm really not a huge fan of painting. Okay guys, I think Mario is now complete. Feels so freaking hot in here. I am really happy with the result. I think Mario looks really cool. The only minor issue here is that, as I've told you, I had to build his face out of white paper because I didn't have any skin tone color paper laying around, so I had to paint it. So that's the only nitpick I have to say about this mask, is that you can actually see some of the brush strokes all over his face. Overall, I think this mask captured the essence of Mario pretty well, and I'm really happy with it. So one thing I had to do to be actually able to put on this mask over my big ass head was to cut some of the faces on the back of his hair. So as you can see, I did a cut over here, over there, right in the middle, and then over here. So this way I have a little bit more room to fit my big head into this mask. But depending on the size of your head, you might not have to do that. And if you guys are interested in building the cap only, well, you can. All you have to do though is that when you're going to print the files is to make sure that you are printing them at around 85%. So this way the cap should be fitting your head a little better. Or you can print it at the regular size and you will end up with a cap that is a little bit on the big side. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what you'd like to see me build next time. You guys can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Until then, I will see you in the next workshop. Qu'il!